What is going on, everyone? It's your buddy Aaron. Welcome back to another G35 video. We are finally back, coming crashing down hard into the G35 content because we've been messing with that Acura TLR daily for a little while, and I know you guys are tired of seeing it, so we're gonna bring back the G35. And I'm bringing a super informative video to you guys today, and I'm pretty excited about this one when I really shouldn't be excited because I gotta pull the engine out of the G35 again. This is probably the 8th time we're pulling it out of the same car. But it's been a long time and the car has been running really good ever since, you know, the last time we put it back in. What we're experiencing right now is some clutch issues. So as you guys saw in the last couple of videos with the G35, me, when I put it in gear and I start letting go of the clutch a little bit, it starts grinding, like the throwout bearing's bad, or the input shaft has got some play, or something's going on with it. Now, I'm really hoping that it's just the clutch that's worn out, and that the throwout bearing is also worn out, and all we have to do is really change those. So we've got this OS Giken clutch. This is a twin disc clutch. It's a super powerful clutch. This is what Matt was running in his car before his car unfortunately got totaled. Matt, I gotta give you a huge shout out. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. This is gonna go to a good home. Finally, we've been holding on to this for so long, and it is finally gonna go into our twin turbo G35. This thing is looking so clean right now. So basically, the car runs and it drives right now. Everything is completely hooked up. I can go ahead and turn the key right now, which I'm gonna show you guys, and show you guys that it actually goes into gear. It rolls everything. It runs and drives. It's ready. We're gonna be attempting to be the fastest YouTuber to pull a G35 engine out. With my experience, I'm going solely based off of experience. I'm not a mechanic. I mean, I guess you could say I'm a mechanic now. I've fucking done so many things. But I've done it so many times, and I've worked in the business. I've got some knowledge backing me up. So we're gonna attempt to remove this motor as quick as possible. There are so many tips, so many tricks that I'm gonna show you guys. I've done it the wrong way so many times that I know what is the right way, what I can get away with, and basically just how to remove it as quick as possible. I think the first time I removed the engine, it took me like 10 hours. That's because I thought that I just had to remove every single part individually in order to get the engine out, including the wiring harness, every little piece on the front end. No. There are a lot of easy hacks, workarounds, whatever you want to call it, when it comes to removing the engine out of your 350Z or your G35. You don't have to remove the whole engine harness. You don't have to bend your condenser out of the way and like ruin the hard lines and everything. You don't have to do any of that. It's super easy, and I'm gonna show you guys step by step how to do it in this video. So if you guys are new to the channel, please make sure you smash that subscribe button, hit the notifications bell. We got a ton of content coming out on the G35. We're gonna get this thing running so good, and I eventually wanna bring it back to the track. I wanna see what kind of numbers we can do on a quarter mile. So that is what we are working towards right now. But hit that like button on this video for me, please, because it gets that video out there. And let's get right into the how to do everything. I'm gonna be timing myself, guys, so I got all my tools ready that I believe I'm gonna need for the entire job. I am using air tools, so we got the air compressor hooked up, we got our impact gun, and we have our air ratchet. Different screwdrivers that we might need, pin pullers, we got our dikes, we got a bunch of hose clamp removers, we got some extensions here, we got our ratchets, we got all of the flat wrenches that I believe we're gonna need, and we got all the sockets that I think we're gonna need as well. Most of them are impacts. We got just a couple of extensions here. This is gonna be to drain the transmission fluid. There's only 2 fluids you gotta drain. You don't have to worry about the power steering, you don't have to worry about the brake, you're not gonna worry about any of that. You don't even have to worry about the clutch. You can just remove them out the slave cylinder out the way. So there's only 2 fluids. It's the coolant, because you got to disconnect all the coolant hoses, so drain the coolant, and then it's the transmission fluid. So I'm not sure if you got to do it in the automatics, but in the manuals, when you remove the drive shaft and you're ready to pull the engine and it's tilted down, all the fluid will just pour right out onto the floor. And if you guys ever smelled gear oil, it smells like rotten eggs, and it's terrible, and it will never leave your garage for at least 3-4 weeks. So let's drain it first. My biggest mistake was not knowing that the entire front end of the G35 comes off as one piece. All you have to do is disconnect your AC condenser and of course your radiator. Get all the hoses disconnected, disconnect the AC condenser. You have to disconnect the latch that goes to your hood, so it's really easy. Just take the latch off. I got it fed through my center support here, so I will remove that. And you have to remove the wiring harness that is attached to it. It goes to your front impact sensor, which is going to be right in here, and as well as your horns. Then you can pull this whole wiring harness up and out, You don't have to remove every single sensor that is connected to your engine. You can actually leave them all connected. This is the first time I'm gonna be doing it this way. I've actually gotten the engine out before. My best time was 4 hours. I got it from running and driving to engine out in 4 hours, yet I was still removing every single sensor. So this is what I'm excited about. I think that I'm gonna beat my personal time of 4 hours because I'm not gonna have to remove the entire engine harness. What we're gonna do is we're gonna disconnect the battery, remove the battery, and we're gonna follow the engine harness. It goes through inside of a little grommet right there, and we're gonna unplug it from the ECU, and we're gonna pull the harness out with the entire motor and trans, so we don't have to worry about unplugging, breaking clips, destroying our fingers trying to remove any electricals. The only things we have to remove as far as electrical is all the grounds, like from the chassis to the engine and things like that. So just remove all the grounds, and most of the harness can stay connected to the engine. Number one thing before you even get started, you're gonna wanna take your car to a shop and have them discharge your AC system. When you go ahead and pull those lines apart, you do not want all that Freon blowing up in your face. Because it is a pressurized system, so you're gonna want to get your AC system discharged or evacuated. Most places should do this for free because the Freon's expensive. They love free Freon, so if they discharge it for you, they get to keep it basically. And then when you're ready, you just go back and you pay the service $149.95 or whatever it is right now, wherever you go. That's what the local Pep Boys price is for recharging your AC. But you gotta get discharged so it doesn't blow up in your face. The power steering pump will actually get unbolted from the motor and just moved out of the way. Just so you guys know, you need this special clip remover to remove the AC condenser lines. This is basically just an AC condenser removal tool. I got this from Amazon. You can buy it for like 20 bucks. This will help us remove the hard lines from the condenser. I already did a fresh oil change on it recently, so we don't have to get into draining the oil or anything like that. We will have to drop the bash bar, the intercooler, all this piping and everything before the front end comes off as well. All right guys, I'm gonna go ahead and start it up so you know she runs. I'm gonna put it in gear so you know she drives, and then we'll go ahead and look at our time, and we will get this party started. Alright guys, so I'm cheating just a little bit, alright? So we already have it up on jack stands, and we already have the hood removed. Both of those things combined probably takes not even 10 minutes. So just keep that in mind. But there are a couple of other annoying things that I do have installed that somebody normally wouldn't have installed, like the oil cooler. I got a bunch of wiring I gotta remove for the headlights. That's all custom wired. So yeah, a couple of annoying little things that I gotta do, but I don't have to take off a front bumper. I do have to take off the bash bar. So a couple of things. Also, what you might be spending a lot of time on is getting the bolts loose for the headers to the catalytic converters. If you guys have stock cats, those bolts usually get rusted and kind of a pain in the butt to get to. Since I've done it so many times in this car, they're not rusted. They're actually brand new bolts, so they'll be easier to remove. But regardless, from running and driving to motor completely out in hopefully less than 4 hours, let's go ahead and get started. All right guys, so we're basically locked and loaded and ready to start pulling this motor out. So we're gonna go ahead and get started draining all the fluids and just run down this list. I basically made like a preparation list on my phone in the notes. So I'll be checking that periodically just to make sure I'm doing everything in the right order. And I'll just be checking in with you guys periodically as well. We are going to be using a timer. I'm going to use the timer on my phone, and you can also see at the top right, it's about 5:37 right now. We're going to start at about 5:40, and I'll be showing you guys the times as we go through. So we're going to attempt to be the fastest VQ puller on YouTube, as well as beating my own personal best of 4 hours. We're going to go ahead and hit that start button, and let's get it going. Boom. Alright guys, we got the coolant draining. We are now removing the cowl and the battery. Alright guys, so I just unplugged the ECU, so now I'm trying to get this harness out. A little harder than I expected. I got caught up on this little white plug down there. I couldn't figure out how to take it off. But check it out, we got it disconnected. I I forgot that I ran all my other wiring, like the boost controller wiring and the map sensor wiring, all through that grommet right here. So I had to cut through the grommet so I can pull out the whole thing and still have all my other wiring going through that hole. So I have a cutout that I'll have to repair when I put it back together, but not a big deal. We're only 36 minutes and 52 seconds in. We already disconnected the harness from the ECU, pulled it through the grommet. We went underneath, we drained the transmission fluid already, and we removed the drive shaft. So we're at 37 minutes now. All right, I'm gonna get right back to it, and we're gonna go ahead and remove the entire front end here. Our front impact sensor right here. You just gotta pull down on the tab, just like that. I got these custom horns in here, I'll just unplug them. We got the ambient air temperature sensor, or outside air temperature sensor right here. Some sensor right here on the condenser. Alright. Get this harness out the way. We got our oil cooler basically out the way, just got to disconnect it here. And we got the power steering cooler, we got to take that off too. 10 millimeters. Okay, we got the fans connected, we got to disconnect the fans. I usually like to put my bolts back where they were so I don't lose them. Fans disconnected. We already disconnected the radiator hoses, which is this top hose right here and the bottom hose that goes into the radiator. Now we got to disconnect our AC condenser. It's where our special tools are going to come into play. I think it's this red one and the blue one. You got to fit this connector up and inside to pull the condenser loose. You guys can look up other videos. I'm going to rush right now. Just gonna let the harness hang out right here. Now we gotta worry about this harness. Gotta unplug both of the headlights. I wanna leave the headlights in place and remove it all as one unit. So we'll just unplug the headlights. And I gotta remove this ground right here that I have all my Demon Eye electronics and everything connected to. Alright, got the cable disconnected from our latch. Go ahead and put the latch back in place so we don't lose it, and the bolts. Alright, let me feed this thing out of the radiator support. That is now out of our way. We can go ahead and remove the entire front end now. I think we just got our two 12mm bolts on both sides. I don't know if I'm missing anything, but we're going to find out. Oh, yep, I know what we're missing. Oh yeah, here we go. This whole thing's gonna fall on me now. Oh yeah. Oh, the headlights are still plugged in. Rookie mistake. Oh, I'm okay on that side. Okay, a freaking zip tie. That's what's stopping us. Alright. Front end disengaged. Let's go. Super easy. Look at all that. Now we got all that room. Alright guys, so we are 1 hour and 2 minutes in right now. We got the whole front end off, all the fluids, and we got the drive shaft. We still got to disconnect the exhaust. We still got to disconnect the compressor line and remove the power steering pump and set that aside. And then we got to remove the hoses in the back that go to the heater core for the coolant. I'm out of breath right now, but an hour, we're making some good time. Let's try to keep it at 3 hours. Let's try to beat our record by a whole hour. Let's go. Alright guys, this is the transmission shifter bracket. Yes, I'm still being timed right now. I just want to quickly show you guys this. These are the two bolts that are really easy to get to. There's one right here and the other one right there on the other side. Those are easy to get to. There's two on the top. See, you can see I already loosened those. It's moving right now, but there's still two on the top that you got to lower everything. So this brace right here, this black brace, is two 14mm bolts on each side of the brace, right there and on the other side as well. We're gonna drop those and lower the whole transmission, and then we'll be able to get to that bracket up top. Then we use this one bolt right here, take that out, and we can take off this bracket so it's easier to remove the engine and transmission all at one time. Alright guys, I'm gonna slide on under here, slowly jack it up, to hold the transmission itself. We don't want to put enough weight, just put it right under it so we can catch it. Got our 14mm on the gun here. Now we can take this off. Super easy. This lifts up, over to the side and down. It's been so long since I've done this, but I freaking memorized everything. Like as soon as I get into it, it's like muscle memory. Got the wrench up there, so I'm getting the bolts loose. That's good. And bracket is now free. Next focus is this exhaust right here. It looks like we got like some 13s, some 15s, some 16s, bunch of randoms. I'm gonna go ahead and remove the exhaust bolts, and as well as up there. This is always a pain in the butt. Got to remove the flange, the triangle flange. We're just gonna go ahead and remove the 3 bolts on that flange. Bunch of different sizes. Got like 15s, 17s, 13s. Always a pain in the butt. I always save that for last because it just sucks. I'm gonna go ahead and remove those, and we'll go ahead and get this freaking engine lifted up. Dudes, I've been cursing up a storm. I'm dirty as hell, beating myself up like crazy. 2.5 hours into it. I was hoping to have the whole engine out by now. But I'm freaking like, look, I lost my voice because I'm screaming at myself because of how freaking annoying this is. I only got one of the exhaust pipes off. The other exhaust pipe, one of the bolts is stuck. I can't get a wrench on the back of it. It keeps just spinning. So we're gonna try to remove it with the engine. We have our slave cylinder right here. We're not gonna undo the bolt where the fluid goes through. We're gonna undo the 2 12mm bolts that hold it to the transmission bell housing, and then we can just move it out of the way. This way we don't ever have to bleed our clutch again. We can just go ahead and bolt it right back up. Next thing we're gonna move on to is moving this power steering pump out of the way. So we gotta undo the tensioner for the belt, for the main belt, and then we'll do the 2 or 3 bolts it is that hold the power steering pump in place, and then we'll just move that right over the other side of the frame rail. Guys, this headband's awesome. It's coming in handy like crazy. Look at all this light that it's giving me. You guys can actually buy one of these with a discount for only 35 bucks. Plus, I think you get 15% off of my link. Go ahead and check out in the description. You guys can pick one up. Power steering pump's out the way. Unplug it because the harness is coming with the engine. And there goes all the oil. Sweet. All right. Yep. Oh. Okay. Cool. Just wrap that around. All right, and then we're good. You can go back on there. I think it's finally time to start lifting this bitch. I put a towel on top so that the chain doesn't mess up the paint on the plenum. So we're gonna take our chain. Take one end, the bolt that goes to our power steering pump. Oh fuck, it doesn't even fit. I need a washer, god damn it. Put at one end of the link, and I think it goes right here. Okay, the other link, the other end of the chain is gonna get hooked up on the driver's side cylinder head. There's a bracket, hard to reach, but you can still get to it once the intake is off. Gonna bolt the chain to the bracket, and we get the chain to come up and meet in the middle. Got this big bolt that we're gonna use to hook right up to the shop crane and pull it right out. Bring the 2 chains to a center link, put the bolt through both links, cap it off. Comes. Oh shit. Officially just removed our VQ and transmission. 3 minutes to spare to beat our old record by a whole hour, guys. 2 hours, 57 minutes. Here is our beautiful, fully built bottom and top end twin turbo Greddy VQ 35DE, fully pulled out of the car. Now you guys are probably asking, why did you pull the whole motor out? All you had to do was change the clutch. Well, if you guys see, it's extremely hard to get the transmission bell housing off without removing the wastegates. So with that being said, because you can't get to these bolts right here, they are extremely difficult to get to, if even possible. It's just way easier to go ahead and pull the motor out. You guys saw that we just did it in 3 hours. That is a new personal best. Definitely got the best of me. Look at me, I'm freaking filthy right now, but I'll tell you what, it's worth it. 3 hours ain't shit. We're gonna go ahead and another day, because I'm freaking beat now. We'll go ahead and change that clutch. That'll be the next video, where we get our double disc OS Giken clutch slightly used. It was actually fully rebuilt when Matt had it, so these pads are almost completely brand new, looking awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. If you guys liked, you guys enjoyed it, you guys learned a thing or two, please let me know down in the comments. I always love to read what you guys have to say about our project and how we do things around here. If you guys think there's any other way that you could have made it any faster, I would love to see it. If you guys would post a video, beating my 2 hours and 57 minutes, that would be awesome. If I wasn't struggling with this, I'll show you guys what I was struggling with. This thing, I got all the bolts out except for that one, because it's really hard while it's in the car to get a wrench on the back of that, and it just kept spinning. I got it a little loose, but I couldn't get it the rest of the way, so I'll be able to take that off while I'm up here. But at least we were able to pull it out with that connected. Probably didn't even have to remove the other one either, but it is what it is. It'll make it a lot easier when we're dropping it back in the car. When you guys are pulling the VQs out, you gotta make sure you watch out for this little thing right here. This is your power steering hardline. A lot of people crush that, or they lower the engine onto that, and it just totally ruins it. This is actually, I've changed that already because I've destroyed that my first time as well. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys liked it, please make sure you smash that like button. If you're not following along, hit that subscribe button. We got a ton of G35 content coming for you guys, and we just have so much fun working on all of our cars here in the garage. So much fun. So much fun. If you guys are in the South Florida area, don't hesitate to hit me up. If you guys don't want to pull the engine out yourself, I can do it for you. You got a phone number right here and the Instagram here as well. Just DM me or shoot me a text, shoot me a phone call. Got your back. Anyway guys, stay tuned. We're gonna drop that clutch in the next video, and I'm gonna see you guys next Friday at 5. Take it easy.